All right, welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Earl Tucker IV of DC Autosport with Cape Motorsports, driving in the USF Juniors series. How's it going, man?
It's going great. How about you?
Doing well. So this is so I know that you've raced in USF Juniors this year, but before we do that, let's just introduce yourself, kind of, talk about. Just give us some basic intro, and then I'm gonna dive in and all the
yeah, sure. So I grew up in Shoreline, Connecticut, just outside New Haven, and I raced quarter midget go-karts when I was little for 4 years, and had some good success with that. And then kind of stepped away from full-time racing for a while. I played a ton of other sports and just kind of had my sights set on those. And stayed in the track scene, I guess, and went to track days and did high performance driving schools and stuff like that. And then went through high school, went through college, and about quarter way through college, I was like, you know what, I want to race again, and slowly formulated a plan to get back at it, and got all my licensing in order and went spec me out of racing for 9 months almost, and got some podiums, and it was a good time. And then figured I'd just dive headfirst into it and ended up in USF Juniors.
Okay, so I know that's the crash course of it, but let's dig a little deeper into that. So when did you start racing? Like when did you initially start?
Initially started when I was 4, I believe, 4 or 5.
Okay.
And then did that till I was, I think I was 9 or 10 when I stopped.
Yeah.
It was 2008.
Yeah.
When I stopped. So yeah, I raced in just all around the Northeast. I did Thompson and Silver City actually was my home track, which is where Joey Logano started out of. So
yeah, of course, another native Connecticuter, Connecticut native there. So when you stopped racing, I know you played a lot of sports throughout. You were 10 and 11 by the time that you stopped. So you played probably throughout elementary school, middle school, even in high school. What other sports did you play? I know you mentioned lacrosse as one of them. I know that's huge out east.
Yeah. So I did lacrosse, and then I actually did summer. Well, I guess it was lacrosse was springtime.
Yeah.
Soccer was the fall, and I also did indoor for both through high school. But I also did sailing in the summer, competitive sailing, which was pretty cool. As far as competitive sports, soccer and lacrosse were my 2 main ones. But soccer I played since I was basically able to walk.
Isn't that the case with everybody? Everybody plays soccer.
Yeah. It kind of seems like that's the first like learning sport to see if they even like competition, and then
yes. So kind of going into that, did you play it like when you were in high school? Did you play soccer and lacrosse throughout your high school days?
Yeah, I played all through high school, and then when I got to college, obviously I was never, I guess, good enough to play on a college level, nor did I really want to. But yeah, so I ended up just doing like intramurals and like club teams and stuff like that, and had a blast doing that.
So you're in college. So you also, for a lot of people that don't know this, you have a college degree.
I do.
You went to Fairfield and got a degree in economics, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
So going in there, you have a college degree. I know one of probably every parent's dream is to, 1, have their child graduate from high school, 2, have their child graduate from college.
Yep.
So doing all that, that probably had to be one of the biggest things that you wanted to do. And even if, because the thing is with race, and we'll get into the racing stuff after this, but most racers don't go to college or get a degree. I know some of them do, but you have one, and now you can use that thing anywhere.
Yeah, it's a pretty unique situation that I found myself in. But yeah, I have four older sisters as well, and my oldest sister's 10 years older than me, so it's quite the spread. And yeah, I just my parents wanted all of us to go through high school, go through college, get our degrees, and then once we had that kind of plan B, in my case, I guess plan B, just safety net, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Then go out and do whatever you wanted, and that's kind of where I ended up.
So when did you get back into racing? Like I know you were in track days and all that stuff.
Yeah.
When did you really get back?
When did I really get back? November 2020, I think.
Oh, what a year to go back.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, COVID kind of helped because I was able to save a lot of my money and kind of have the time outside of work to really, get a good plan together, and just saved up for a while and ended up going down to Circuit of the Americas in Austin and went to the 3-day Skip Barber Formula Car school that they had there, just because that's probably the most accessible way to drive an F4 car for just average person with really no knowledge of pro racing at all. And I went down there with some friends and ended up obviously loving it just as much as I thought I would, and then got my SCCA license in order and started doing Spec Miata racing, and got a few podiums and just had a blast doing that. And then I always wanted to do open wheel. That was kind of my bucket list thing, was to do a season of open wheel racing.
Yeah, for sure. So really the USF Juniors thing came around. You're with one of the most reputable teams out there in Cape Motorsports. Of course, they've dominated in USF 2000. They just recently made an announcement they're on their way to Indy Lights next year as well. Yeah. What was it like to be partnered with them and run this season? Because, this is a brand new series. So they're not, for people that do not know this, outside of Barber, USF Juniors does not run with the IndyCar or the rest of the Road to Indy ladder. But they ran at the same similar tracks, but scheduling obviously there. Case in point, of course, why a lot of USF Juniors drivers are on here was because I was at Mid-Ohio last week and saw a lot of them, so I as well have them on. What really intrigued me to have you on is you are 23 years old.
Yeah.
And you're in, and I'm not just, and I know you get this question a lot from if you've done this stuff. This is usually the time where the development process is kind of like, maybe I should do this. And obviously we've seen a lot of drivers, your age, this is the time where we don't have a lot of time left, or maybe you do, maybe you just started later. Case in point, for many people, anyone remember David Osborne a few years ago? I think he was like 24 when he ran. I think it was for Newman Haas back in, no, not Newman, Newman Walks back in 2018. So of course, similar, had a college degree, and I think he's making medical devices or something. So
never know, but it was definitely a bit of a shock the first day rolling up. I didn't really have any knowledge of anything outside of just like grassroots motorsports up until this past year, and walking into Sebring in the preseason test. So obviously that was the academy at the time, but walking into Sebring and seeing how young some of these kids were, I was like, wow, I feel old. But Andre Castro, I think, is 23 as well, right?
Andre, of course, won the team, was also part of the Team USA scholarship.
So. Yeah, he was 23. Nick D'Orlando used to be in USF Juniors. He was 19.
Of course, he's in USF 2000, and that's still, he's on the. I think he's 19 or 20. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's 19 right now.
Yeah, Michael is 20, 21.
Yep. Yeah, but the age is. It kind of is what it is at this point. I can't change it, so I don't really think about it too much when I'm out there driving. It's car versus car.
I mean, you look at all these kids and go, I know you get the I feel old segment or something there, especially when Corey tells you what year he was born. So, you're racing against 14-year-olds, 13-year-olds. What's that like?
I honestly, it doesn't really change much. I mean, at the end of the day, they're world-class drivers, and they're some of the best in the country right now. And it's just to find myself up against them occasionally on track is really a privilege. This whole experience has been a huge privilege for me, and it's just cool to kind of get to know the future talents, and you'll learn a lot from them driving wise, and I really don't dwell on the age thing too much. All I heard when I first started to get back into it was, you're too old, too tall, whatever. And I rolled up the first day, and Michael D'Orlando's taller than me, and there was a kid the same age as me. So it was kind of comforting to see that there was kids in sort of similar situations as me doing the same thing.
So here's the other thing with that. You look at maybe because for a lot of people, case in point, maybe they've gone away, maybe they just started late. Maybe the bug didn't bite them early on, like it happened to you. But obviously, you wanted to, have all your, your priorities in line. Of course, getting getting your degree, getting a high school diploma, getting your college degree, and all that, and doing the things that your parents set out that they wanted you to do, and also you wanted to do as well. But then there's this, and there's always, with the pandemic and really that, a lot of people are, trying to do things that they've always wanted to do but never had the time for, and now they do. Now they're prioritizing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, pandemic definitely aided in my decision making to.
That's another point. I didn't really think about this as I was talking to you, but really, I think COVID really kind of, as I tell people all the time, COVID's changed a lot in how the workplace is.
Yeah,
people don't want to work people don't want to work day in and day out in jobs that maybe don't pay well or do anything like that. You have your standard 9-to-5 job. The pay is nice. The benefits are nice. Maybe it's a good work environment, and those people will still be there. But if you don't like what you're making, if you don't like what you're getting paid, do you want to sit at a desk job all day, go to the office and do the same thing every day? No. So if you want to do something like what you're doing, trying to chase, eventually IndyCar is the goal for you, I would obviously imagine, right?
Yeah, that's obviously the ultimate goal.
So, why not? There's a lot of people that are doing this right now. So, okay, let's kind of go back a little bit.
Sure.
Take me back to like November 2020 when you were, cooped up at home. I think you were, but just pondering, what were you thinking about, and where did that idea come from?
Yeah, so I was actually working full time, but other than that was home most of the time, just tinkering with whatever I could do here. But so I was working full time, and just kind of didn't really have any expenses because I'm still living at home right now, and was back then, and just was saving my money, right. And I was just kind of, I had my plan for a few years, and since early college, and just had the money at the time, and figured, why not just fly to Austin in the middle of a pandemic and just try it out, and had nothing else major planned. So
and no one else was flying at the time, like now. But
yeah,
why not? Did it just like, let's do that? Did the thought just come in your head? I just want to do this.
Yeah. It was just, I was working full time, and figured, if I'm gonna take the time off to really dedicate myself to one of my dreams, it might as well be right now while everybody else is kind of stuck in the same position. And, a few of my friends were going out and doing stuff that they wanted to do and had wanted to do for quite some time. And it just felt like the right time to do it.
Yeah. That's what a lot of people are doing
right now. Yeah.
Okay. So we kind of got into that. We only have 2 more race weekends left. You got Road America.
Indeed.
And then you got COTA, which, of course, 2 tracks that, that if you watch NASCAR, they've both raced on already. Yep. 2 very unique courses. Of course, Road America will be in a few weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Yeah, 2 weeks roughly.
Yeah. So getting ready for the last 2 race weekends of the season, what do you want to see out of the team? What do you want to see out of yourself heading into this week?
It's just consistency and consistent improvement has been the name of the game this year. I wasn't coming in here expecting to win every race and podium every race, because that just wasn't realistic. You have to have big dreams, but you also have to be down to earth with your goals and be brutally honest with yourself sometimes what you're really trying to accomplish. And the name of the game this year has just been show improvement through each weekend. Really all these tracks I've really haven't been to, never raced any of the tracks that we've been to, and just show constant lap time improvements and just get as much time in the car as possible. And I felt we've done a good job. Virginia was a tough weekend just with the contact that I had with other drivers, and that was just a bit of a mess. Qualifying went well, but after that was kind of one to forget. And then Ohio had some mechanical stuff happen, and it's tough because the season is a lot of races, but they're all kind of in bursts. So you have one bad weekend, and 15% of your season's gone. So it's been a lot of learning this year, and I think the last part of the season will have some good luck.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple other things. One thing, and then I have another bunch of more questions to ask you.
Yep.
I did see correct me if I'm wrong, but I did see a lot of people wearing one of your I think racing logo.
Yeah, the shirts that I had made.
I did see a few of those people.
So a lot of those were my family. I have a big family, and two of my sisters were at that race, and my parents were there. My mechanic Steve was wearing one. Who else? And my friend Zach lives in North Carolina, but is up here for the summer, and just he does vinyl wrapping for a living, so he's kind of his own boss, makes his own schedule, so he's able to come to the races, and awesome. He loves motorsports, so he tags along every once in a while. But those shirts they came out pretty good, actually. I put up a thing on Instagram, and it's just like, hey, who wants one? Type of, let me know if you want one. Expecting a few people to be like, oh, yeah, I'll take one. And I ended up getting, I think, over 90 people messaged me and said they wanted one. So I ended up with a huge order, and now I have to start handing them out this week. I got to figure out how the heck I'm going to get them across the country. A couple of them got to fly around. So
U.S. mail, go through the mail.
Yeah. I'm going to have to. I got Massachusetts, North Carolina. I got a bunch of them. So yeah, snail mail. No, go through the mail. Yes, sir.
I just named every shipping and packaging company there. You get some free advertisement from that.
Yeah.
We don't know a lot about you. Yeah. Well, now we do. But let's get to know you outside of racing.
Sure.
Because as drivers up and coming, because many people don't know, and you never know. Maybe you might be. You never know if you want a new IndyCar driver to a young prospect to root for. I'm calling you young, thank you. Maybe Earl's your guy or something. So
yeah, maybe.
Okay. Outside of racing, what do you like to do?
Oh God, I like to do a lot of stuff. I'm always trying to learn something new. I think I mentioned before, I do a lot of photography and videography. Yeah. Try and do that as often as I can. And I I do a lot of 3D printing and 3D design,
That's awesome.
CAD design. I got a certification when I was in college. That was one of my classes actually, because I did a bunch of engineering classes, and got certified in SolidWorks CAD program. And so yeah, I'll 3D print a bunch of stuff. I actually have 3D printed track map of Circuit of the Americas right here.
That is awesome.
It has elevation in it and everything, so it's pretty cool.
That's actually really, really cool.
Hey, you want one? I'll send them to you.
All right, you now know where to get them.
Yeah, they're so I'm always just tinkering a bunch of stuff. I mean, I'm into boats and quads and dirt bikes and whatever I can get my hands on. So I stay busy outside the car.
Well, it's always good, man. Favorite, do you like any other sports? Because it's either you totally like racing, or you like all the other sports and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I follow NBA a little bit. I really only in the playoffs, but I follow football fairly heavily as well. Big Patriots fan. So
okay, I mean, yeah, you are from the Northeast, so
yep. Yeah, well, I'm in a a weird spot because Connecticut's right in between Boston and New York, so you get that big rivalry.
Yeah, I got friends that are Bills fans. I got friends that are I got friends that are Patriots fans. I even have a friend that is that's a Jets fan, but absolutely cannot stand the Bills. So
interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Where do you lie? What are you a fan of?
As I've covered a lot of different sports, and it's just like you try to get into one team, and you just can't.
Yeah,
I am a huge Mets fan though.
Oh God, okay. So, I got some Mets fans back here. I got some.
My brother
some
works
friends.
for the team, so it's.
Oh wow, very cool.
It's a good time to root for him, and why not? I got a bunch of Yankee friends, so yeah. Okay. Go-to place for food.
Go-to place for food. I mean, I love a good Five Guys burger. Whenever I can get it. You guys have Five Guys out there, right?
We do.
Right. Yeah, they're pretty.
It's
pretty worldwide.
Expensive, so I can't get it.
Oh, it's so expensive.
It is.
You can't go every day. It's so worth it. Yeah, you get the just loaded double bacon cheeseburger. It's fantastic. I haven't had one in a while though. I gotta keep my weight down for racing. Being 6'2" is not the most conducive thing for going fast. So I gotta stay slim.
Okay, so I know that. Okay, since you're 6'2", I will ask this question next. How do you feel about people reclining their seats on airplanes?
Considering my knees touch most of the time, when nobody's reclined to anything at all, it's pretty tough. I have to get creative with how I sit, especially when I'm flying with my helmet. Because typically, if I'm doing a test day or something, I'll just pack a carry-on, which is my race bag, which has all my suit and all that stuff in it, and then I'll have my helmet as my personal item, so I'll stuff my helmet with chargers and all that. But nice. As you know, helmets are not designed to be squishy, so it's really hard to get them under the seat sometime, and that gets interesting with where my legs end up.
Do you try? Okay, and since we're talking about airplanes, I've not been on one in like 8 years, so.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's yeah, and I don't plan on going on one anytime soon. Especially right now.
Yeah.
So speaking of planes and flights, are you one to like watch movies? Do you read magazine, or do you read the Sky Mall, or do you just sleep?
Sometimes I sleep. It kind of depends on the time of day that the flight is. I mean, if it's at night, I'll definitely try and get some sleep in, or really early morning as well. But typically I'll read a book. I like reading books. I'm reading one on I think it's Valentino Rossi's autobiography. So
that's actually pretty good.
It's been a very good book so far. I'm almost done with it, but yeah, read a book. I don't really watch many movies on flights, but yeah, read whatever I got on me, or I'm reviewing onboard footage for whatever test day I'm flying to. So.
Nice. TV or streaming show that you're really into right now? I don't know if you have the time for it, but I mean, every time I ask this question, it always gets answered pretty well.
I mean, I'm in the middle of like 7 shows right now. It's been kind of tough to keep up with them all. I just finished Peaky Blinders, the final season, which was Really, really good. That is a fantastic show.
All right,
What
else are you into?
Stranger Things, just finished that one. The new season came out. That was very, very good. What else? I liked Mindhunter was a great one. It was about like all the psychology unit of the FBI getting formed.
Yeah.
A lot of motorsports documentaries because I love that. And I kind of a wide variety of stuff. Whatever's good, I'll watch it. So
okay, so I am into since you've asked about a couple things about me, I am in the Orville right now.
Okay.
So that's for people that don't know, and if you don't know, then that's a crime. Shame on you if you don't know about this show, because it is a fantastic show. It's Seth MacFarlane's sci-fi show. It used to be on Fox, but they put it on. The latest season is on Hulu right now. So I've been watching. Really? It's good stuff. You should watch it.
That's actually been on the list for a while. I remember when that show first came out, and I was like, "Oh, Seth MacFarlane!" Like,
it's actually not what you expect. Maybe the early ones, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's really good.
All right, cool.
It's a really good show.
Maybe I'll throw that one on tonight. Try and get an episode in.
Yeah, because if we get enough people, we get season 4 of the Orville.
All right, that's our mission. It's our mission for this year.
Yes,
we'll get you season 4 of the Orville.
Well, that's up to Hulu, but I know a lot of the actors have said that we'll come back. So
cool.
Anytime I get to advertise the Orville, that will be good. All right, 3 things people do not know about.
3 things people do not know about me. It's a hard one. I'm a pretty open guy. I don't really hold much back, but
okay. So some people hate that. I ask. Some people just love when I ask this question, and some people just completely avoid this and can't think of anything. I'm an open book. Maybe people don't know.
I mean, I guess people listening to this podcast might not know. Okay. I'm a pretty good cook. Okay. I can cook a ton of different things. It's not just one specific dish.
All right.
The 3D printing and 3D design thing usually catches people pretty off guard because they don't expect that from me. Let's see another one. Oh, I'm scuba diver or scuba licensed.
Awesome.
Scuba dive.
That's really cool. What's the coolest thing that you've seen down there?
I went down. Forget where I was. It was an island somewhere south of Florida. Don't remember exactly where, but it was 120 feet down. We dove to underneath this big like rock archway. It's like a coral archway that had formed down there. So that was really cool to go down that deep. I had just gotten cleared on my license to go past 60 feet. So that was a pretty wild one. Yeah. Going down there and just looking up, and you can't even see the end of the water at the top, which I'm so used to seeing down there. But there's been some cool stuff. Black and white lionfish. I didn't even know those existed. Thought they were always brown and white, but I saw a black and white one time. A lot of cool stuff in the ocean.
Yeah. All right. I think that's a good place to end this one. We'll obviously have you on again so we can talk about more stuff. But Earl Tucker IV, thank you so much for coming on and talking about your racing career, and good luck in a few weeks at Road America.
Thank you, Casey Campbell the first.